Hi, everyone. It's me, Jesse Herman, the channel for the non physical entity group Vagrein. I can see there's nobody actually online right now with me here, so most of you will be seeing this in the replay. So, hello, replay people from the future. Very excited to be with you here today. So, why am I doing this live stream? Well, for two reasons. One is I wanted to tell you actually two stories. The first story is related to the digital version of my books. And you can see my books in the background here. They're reversed, I believe, for you guys, but the white one is Vagrein Seeking Ends When Sharing Begins, and the black one is Vagrein Insight. They're my little babies. They are works of a lot of love and time and energy. But I wanted to tell you a little bit of the story of the books and then a experience I had on my human level of deep learning in the past couple of days. So the Vagrein Seeking Ends When Sharing Begins was published in November of 2000 and do I want to say 19? Potentially 19. It was written or compilated more so than written during the lockdown. And I was up at 4 a.m. Spontaneously every night, getting to the computer, putting together this book for you guys, and then spending the rest of the day with my kids here at home and trying to entertain them as best I could while we were all locked in our houses. The book, I love the book. The book is amazing. It has information on all aspects of the human experience, channeled information from Vagrein on all aspects of the human experience, and it's been received very well all over the world. Continues to be so. But in June of this past year, I think it was in June, sometime around June, something weird happened. Even though the book had been out for a long time, I suddenly started getting emails from people who were complaining, who were upset that the format on Kindle wasn't up to speed. So, I don't want anyone to be unsatisfied with their purchases at all, ever. That's one of the main values that I have working with you guys and being in service to you guys. I want everyone to be happy, but not, as a people pleasing type of way, but I want you to have a great, customer service as well, because if you are extending that energy exchange to me, I want to make sure that you're happy with that energy exchange. And on researching this problem that was coming up, that the book was not formatted correctly for Kindle, what ended up happening was I realized that indeed it wasn't formatted correctly for Kindle, because the book itself, both books, are or were uploaded to Amazon in their PDF versions, which apparently is not readable on Kindle devices, unfortunately. So I made a call and a decision to pull down the books from Amazon so nobody else would have the experience of being disappointed that they couldn't read the book on Kindle. And in the meantime, reformat the books. So I went into the learning curve of how to create a book that is suitable for Kindle. I laid out these books. I went back to work, back to the drawing board, and laid out both books in Kindle version. That took at least a month and a half or so. And then when I went to re-upload them to Amazon to allow people to now purchase this version that would work both on any e-reader and their Kindle devices, I wasn't allowed to. Because the original book was a PDF, so the Amazon software expected the new version to be a PDF, like as if I'd found a typo and wanted to just update that typo. So the Kindle file extension was not suitable for the already published book. Amazon considered it a completely different book. So I hit a wall. I hit a wall in the tech department. I hit a not jumpable obstacle, and I did what I sometimes do, and I said, well, I'll wait a little bit. I'll wait a little bit until a solution comes to me. Great. I mean, that is the practice I like to hold. And also, it wasn't a problem to wait a little bit because the paperback and the hardcover versions of both books are still available. So I said, I'm going to wait. Well, fast forward quite a few months later, and well, there still isn't a way to upload the Kindle version to Amazon, but in waiting, a solution did arise. But before the solution arose. What happened was I was taught a valuable lesson. And that lesson was that while I was trying to solve the problem of a few people, and while I was trying to make everybody happy, what I actually ended up doing was denying those whom would want a digital version of the book, or those who could not have a hardcover version of the book arrive to them, from having the book at all. So, no, that's not suitable. And I was getting consistently over the period where there was no digital copy of the books, emails saying, when is the digital going to come out? Why can't I purchase the digital? I see it was once available and now I can't get it, etc., etc. And even though I had informed about the fact that I had unpublished the digital copies, of course, all of you new wonderful people who are interested in having the digital copy of the book couldn't get a handle on it or couldn't get it, right? What did I learn? I learned that I was complicating things for no reason. Okay. Um, I was trying to make everybody happy, and you actually can't make everybody happy. You can try, and you will end up potentially making even more people unhappy. So, my new way to move forward is, how can I make the most people happy? And how can I also make content the people who are perhaps not having their best possible experience? And what element of my experience is responsible for making people happy, and what element of my experience is important or responsible for being in service to you guys, service to others? So the solution, it took a good half a year for it to come, is I have republished the digital versions of both Seeking Ends, When Sharing Begins, and Vagrein Insight. And anyone who sees this, who wants to have a format that is readable on your Kindle devices, is invited to contact me. Yes, with your disappointment that the version that perhaps you purchased online at Amazon isn't the exact version you want, but I will automatically send you the KDP version, not KDP, sorry, the Kindle compatible version for free. That's all it takes. So if you already have that issue, you already have that problem where you have the PDF version and you really wanted the Kindle to read on your device, get in touch with me. Send me a screenshot that you do already have this PDF version, and I'll send you straight back the link to the file so you can download the I keep saying KDP, the Kindle file that is compatible. I mean, I did spend a lot of time creating this thing. I just can't deliver it to you in this moment in time. And I do want to make sure that if you have purchased the digital copy, that you can get that for free. There was like a fluff in the air. So that is my first story. And the moral of the story is, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Okay. And what I needed is a solution, and I tried and I got it. What I wanted was a universal solution, but this is the solution that we have. And I know moving forward, so I've also gotten the advantage of learning something, that I need to format that digital version for KDP and other e-readers right out of the gate. So that is my first little story for you guys. My second little story for you guys was something more personal. Again, a very human story for you today. And I probably will be able to do some channeling, at least for a little bit. So do stay tuned for that if that's the only reason why you're here. But the story that I have for today was how often we are resistant to what we already know is good for us. And I've tapped on this before. This is a theme that comes up for all of us. It's come up for me in the past. But this morning, I was looking in the mirror, and I think this is amplified because of how often I'm on video and see myself. But I make this face all the time. When I'm channeling, I'm always raising my eyebrows, right? I'm always doing this. And I have, I have wrinkles. It's normal. Skin does its thing, muscles do its thing, etc. And I was feeling a little insecure by my conditioning, by whatever. I'll admit to it. I was feeling a little bit wrinkly, which is not a bad thing in itself. And I'm happy to age naturally, but it's like, oof, wouldn't it be nice to not have as many? Or wouldn't it be nice to to feel a little bit better about this thing that I'm being insecure about. So I looked right in the mirror and I said, okay, Vagrein, if you're, you know, I know they're there. If you want to help me, because I never asked them for help for my personal issues. If you want to help me, what I want you to do right now is stop having me raise my eyebrows in channeling, because I can see that the lines are getting deeper and deeper there. And I think half of it is you're doing during the channeling sessions. So please don't have me raise my eyebrows anymore. If anything, just approach it as if like those muscles don't move at all and I have had Botox or something like that, right? And I don't want Botox. I don't want to fill my face with toxins, etc. So I'm not going to actually actively go and do that. But I was like, hey, Vagrein, you can help out on this. This is in part your responsibility. And oh my gosh, Vagrein is not one to mess around, as you guys know. And what they did was they said, okay, but not to the whole, like, not raising your eyebrows thing. What they did instead was, it's as if they took over my mind and they gave me instructions of each of like the 10 or 15 things that I would do in order in the next 10 or 15 minutes that would be beneficial to me if I didn't want to have wrinkles, right? So the first thing was, they were like, well, if you don't want to have wrinkles, you know that you should be moisturizing more often. And hey, while you're at it, why not have a glass of water? And hey, while you're at it, why not have all those vitamins that you claim that you want to be taking every morning? And hey, while you're at it, why don't you put, your hand cream next to the desk, because that's some other aspect of it. And also, why don't you put your liter of water onto the desk with a glass and prepare your desk in a beautiful way? And also, while you're at it, why don't you clean the sink? And it was so fast. It was like they were giving direct instructions. If I want what I want, or what I'm claiming I want, these are the things that I already do, or already in theory should be doing, in order to achieve the state of being and relax and self-care and health that would lead to then me having less wrinkles, which is so funny. I found it like to be this really inspired action moving forward. Here's the wave, go ahead and ride it. And also, while you're at it, Jess, please remember that you do not need to ask us for these types of things, because you have them in your power. So do not defer your power to us. And I guess we also came to the agreement that they won't be rising my eyebrows as often, but that is up for you guys to see and to decide, because I guess we can do some channeling right now. I can see the chat and I want to invite you. There aren't that many of you here now, but if anyone has something that they would like to be curious about, I am available right now if you wanted to type that into the chat. If not, what I will do is go into trance and we will see what it is that they have to share that's, just in the field in this now moment. This says top chat. I wonder if I'm not seeing the whole chat, live chat. Here we go. Okay, no, I'm not seeing anyone pop anything in. I'll give it one more minute. And in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll draw a tarot/oracle card, because that seems to give people time to organize themselves. And it was something that I want to do today anyway. So it's probably going to be, another message from Vagrein about not being vain and about following what I already know. If we just followed our inner knowing and listened to our higher selves, then we wouldn't have as many issues as we do. I certainly wouldn't. But I'm a rebel. Want to rebel against my higher self consistently. I wonder if there's like a fast way to learn how to shuffle cards, especially tarot cards that are a strange size. Okay. So I'm drawing the card for my day. The 5 of Pentacles. Oh, I like the image. Oh, no, it's going to need to be over here because my camera focus is not auto. 5 of Pentacles. It's a woman. Looks like she might be lying in snow and the pentacles all around her and she's crying. So I'm going to place that without falling down. Okay. So let me see what this little tarot deck says about that. I don't know if you are experts in tarot. I'm not really at all. I just enjoy it, and I really enjoy this deck. And I'll mention the artist again because that's an important thing to do. So it's Alba BG, and it's the White Newman Sacred Animal Tarot. And I love supporting artists. What did we say that was? 5 of Pentacles. Alrighty, 5 of Pentacles. Here we go. Fallen in the snow, the 5 pentacles float over her body. The cold has penetrated deep inside and her tears are frozen. Hardships, especially of health and finance, are felt to be suffered alone, and yet still she endures. Okay, so if there's no one in the chat that has something to ask, right? Why don't we ask Vagrein to make this particular channeling? Oh, great. There is a question. So I will just finish with my thought. We're going to ask Vagrein to make this particular channeling on how to endure financial and or health hardships. And Earthstar has an embarrassing question. Oh, beautiful, Earthstar. Okay. I'm struggling with the menopause, self-confidence issues, and anxiety. Can Vagrein advise me on this sort of thing? Okay, perfect. So we have 2 topics. We have several minutes to be able to channel. And I think that these beautiful topics will, as usual, intertwine. And we will have something for everyone. So let me just set myself up here. And I'll get into trance. So you guys tune into yourselves while you are getting into your state of most gorgeous being. And Vagrein will be here with you in a moment. And we'll be talking about how to overcome or endure physical and financial hardships, and also a little bit on menopause. All right, enjoy. I am being interrupted by a doorbell, so I will be right back. Thank you, everybody, for waiting here. Hello, boys and girls. Apologies for the interruption, but at least it occurred when I was getting into trance and not when I already was in trance, and we didn't get actually interrupted. So let's head back into trance, talking about enduring hardships, enduring health and financial hardships, and what occurs in menopause, specifically relating to self-confidence and anxiety. Wonderful. Okay. Good now to you. We are pleased to be meeting with you in this fashion, in this now or in a future now in which you are connecting. We understand that there is a desire to be on theme, on topic today with what one can do when in or faced with challenges. And we do not have a preference for the word endurance because there is in that word the creation of the root of hardship, difficulty. In the state of endurance, one is conceding or consenting to remain in a belief that things are difficult, and our advice or suggestion or offering to you would be that you, when faced with challenges, when faced with contrast or catalyst, are not actually being asked to have endurance. The universe does not want you to remain in difficulty, does not want you to remain in hardship. If anything, it wants you as fast as possible to come to a state of understanding, tranquility, peace, and that softening again. When things are feeling as if they are hard, you are being invited to soften. When things are feeling as if they need to be escaped, they are inviting you to stay. But stay in the gentleness, the non judgment, the acceptance, the listening, the presence of that perceived hardship, of that perceived conflict or issue. You were shown earlier the image that inspired this particular conversation. One who has resigned themselves to lie down in the cold, to be held by it, to allow the tears to flow, to face that hardship or that perceived hardship, and to look for those glimmers like light dancing off snow, those little glimmers in that cold, in that darkness, that prove that even that is made out of light. So do not endure your hardships. Do not become hard to them. In the case of heartbreak, for example, often your response is to close your heart. Instead, it is an offering to open even further. When faced, and you have given us the request for specifics on the aspects of physical and financial, when faced with hardships in these areas, you are being invited to see things in a different way. Where are you not accepting your body as the miracle it is? Where are you not accepting and stepping into your understanding that outside of your financial systems, this experience, this life is abundance in pure existence? There is nothing but abundance. What beliefs are you ready to let go of that are what summoned the experience of contrast to you in the first place? Because within the understanding of what you are ready to let go of, you can see beyond and to the light that is actually being offered to you. There is much freedom in knowing that your body is your companion, is your first love, and is your sidekick, your perfect ally. And there's much freedom in knowing that that system, that what you perceive of often as a very complicated system of money and exchange, is not What is determining whether or not you are free in the first place? Do not endure your hardships. Embrace them. Do not hope to survive. Decide to thrive. And even if this transmission feels difficult to you, for how could I possibly thrive in my hardships? How could I possibly give up the decision that the hard thing is hard? Embrace that as well, for that is where you are. And wherever you are, it is perfect. We are offering, as every hardship you have also is, the option to have the freedom to change your own mind on these topics. And as you have asked as well for some guidance through a chapter, we are changing the subject. It is not a change. There is only one subject ultimately, but this is a specific. The chapter that more than 50% of the population of this earth goes through, and for whatever reasons you have decided not to collaborate with and discuss, of the cessation of the fertile period of the human female. Of course, and first of all, this is a absolutely natural and fundamental aspect of the evolution of each and every one of you who is in female incarnate form on your planet. While you are in the incantation of the hormones that are required for the creation of life and the alchemy of turning spirit into matter, which occurs only in the bodies of the females of your species, you are diverting and using much of your life force energy for that motive, whether or not you decide or ultimately are given or choose children to come through your womb, whether or not that is possible for you. The female reproductive hormonal cycle is requiring a level not only chemically but also spiritually of some magic that the males of your species do not experience. It is not honored during your reproductive cycles. Certainly not honored afterwards or towards the end of it. There is in your culture a reverence for youth and for what is considered beauty, because beauty at one point was a signaling of health, and because these species cannot reproduce without the reproductive cycle being in full swing and is swayed towards selection of the healthiest genes, beauty and youth are instinctually preferred when choosing a mate, when choosing a partner. But that is not the only functionality or factors in the explanation of this miracle that comes through the ability to reproduce in this way, to grow, it being in your womb and to have all of the organs move around in accommodation. Of course, you know, and it is very natural, or you almost take it for granted because it just is how things are. But if you stop to think about it from your logical mind, there is not a single logical thing about it. Though you have studied it and tried to make it medical, this is a miracle and this is creation. there are benefits to the soul journey of the female when the contract that one has with the choice to be able to reproduce comes to its end. In your society, however, this is considered an ending of the usefulness of that being. It is considered an ending of their beauty or their youth. It is considered a secret, embarrassing. You have this grasping for the maintenance of fertility for the entirety of your lives, or at least the maintenance of the illusion of being fertile in the form of youth. And interestingly, also, our vessel was speaking of this question of aging or feeling as if they were aging earlier in this meeting today here with you. So it is common to have this fear of the aging, but as you begin to move into more holistic, new versions of your collective society, civilization, you will also in many ways go backwards, because that same creative energy that was filtered into you creating the hormones to be able to have a menstrual cycle, which is full of necessary energy, continues to flow to you. And the woman who has finished their fertility has the opportunity to finally use all of that creativity for their own desires, their own dreams, their own goals, their own service to others, their own passions. They have graduated into the level of the wise woman, the matron. And if they are indeed wise, and they do use this energy as it is being gifted, the remaining portion of their experience, which can indeed be extremely long, even longer than the fertile period ever was, can be used to bring in all of those feminine energies to material form in other versions that are not human beings. All of the energy that was in you, that had the capability of creating human life, is now freed up as a resource for you to be able to create everything else you would want to create. It is the gift of that menopause. The physical sensations and transitions that occur during this phase, yes, can be uncomfortable, but they are no more uncomfortable than the 9 months of pregnancy and all of the transitions and changes that occur in there. They are no more uncomfortable than the several years of puberty that you experienced, where your body changed from that of the similar state of your playmate to something completely different, with its mysteries and its waves and tides. So the framing of that phase of your life as more uncomfortable on a physical level than any of the other consistent physical changes that females do experience in their life, whereas males do not, is conditioned. It is conditioned because you are told that menopause is bad. You are told that it is uncomfortable. You are told that it is embarrassing. And the more you believe and take on these beliefs, that it is a negative aspect or an end to something as opposed to the beginning of something else, the more discomfort you will experience. So, our counsel to you, dear one, who is having this experience and does feel that it is negative in some aspects and is trying and searching for solutions, is get excited about everything that is coming to you. You are at the cusp of stepping into a completely new version of yourself, that immersion from the cocoon to be the fully formed butterfly, to be able to spread your wings in ways that if each and every woman who arrived at this space did choose to put that energy into themselves, their communities, their loved ones, their children and their grandchildren, and all that is, then you would have a matriarchal society that would be very nourishing, very nurturing to all those who had the blessing to be able to experience it. We hope that that brings some relief, some new understanding of the beauty and the gift that your new chapter of life is providing for you and with you. And with that, we leave you with the light and the love of 1,000 suns. Anainai. Hello, everyone. Earthstar says that was wonderful. Oh, I'm glad that that landed. It felt really good. I too am female. I don't know exactly what was said, but I felt this big, accepting, glorious, wonderful embrace and so much reprogramming on of being in this particular body in this lifetime. So I'm very, very happy for having had that experience of being in that, and I'm excited to listen back to it. I see Judith wrote a question about expressing anger, rage in a healthy way, or just feeling the energy of anger in the body with the intention of releasing it does the same. Okay, Judith, well, now that I've read your question, it's somewhere in the ethers, and Vagrein may address that in some other moment, or it might pop up in some other transmission in the near future. That tends to be what happens. So I'm looking forward to that, if that's the case. So the other thing I wanted to mention to everyone here is I am running a 33% off sale from now through December 4th. So if you are interested in my coaching, channeling sessions, human design sessions, or pranic healing sessions, now is the time to get one of those. And or if that is something that could be exciting for you to gift to a relative or a friend and they would like that, then absolutely right now is the time to get those sessions in. And supplies limited as long as there's spaces on the calendar. Is that how you say that? Anyway, the coupon code for that is BYE23, and that's BYE23. If you use that at checkout on my site between now and midnight in Italy on December the 4th, then you will have access to 33% off of all of my services. And like I said at the beginning of this session, the books are now available again in digital format over on Amazon. So go ahead and grab those if it's something you've always wanted to do and you were just waiting for this news. And if you have a Kindle device and you buy the digital version, get in touch with me, let me know, and I will send you off a link to get the version that will work better on your Kindle and won't be such a mess. So do go ahead and do that. That's Seeking Ends When Sharing Begins and Vagrein Insights, which are both amazing reads. And if you want to support me, then please also go back over to Amazon and leave a review on these books so that more and more people can understand what it is they're getting into when they buy it. So I love you guys all. Mwah, and I am so thrilled to have had the opportunity to do this with you today. I got to run off and do some more sessions. So have a wonderful day and night and life. I'll see you very, very soon again. Bye-bye.